Exercise 2, creating a sense of motion. Right, what we're going to do is we're first going to copy up our layer. Control J, close the eye. Now if we look at our image and we look at our exercise book, we see we want to rotate the image. So we press Control A to select all. You see our margin ends, and then Control T to transform, and you see the little handlebars come up in the corners, and now we can simply rotate our image. So we can rotate it, and we can simply say enter to accept the transformation, and Control D to deselect the margin ends. Now we want to crop our image, so we go to our crop tool. There it is there, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth one down, and if it's not on display we can right click and you see the slice tool is with it. So crop tool, and now we're going to crop our image. The easiest thing to do is just to make a selection, click and drag, and now we can change it as we require. Shield color is black, you can change that. Rule of thirds is your photographic rule of thirds, and opacity is 100%. We can turn that down so we can actually see what's going on in the background if you'd like. Okay, now if we look at our example in the book, we see we've cut through the wheel, we've taken off her legs, but we've got it there. We come in a little bit tighter at the back and close to the head, something like that. And we can simply double click inside or go up to the accept checkbox over here. So we accept it, and then we have our image cropped. Now we need to put on a sense of motion. So we need to put on a motion blur. And the first thing we're going to do once again is we're going to Control J and copy up the layer. Now we're going to blur the top layer. And the blur will be found in Filters, Blur, and we are going to select Motion Blur. Okay, and here we have our little box, and if we change the distance at the bottom, you can see how our image blurs more and more. So we can adjust it to what we feel comfortable with. Yeah, we can go quite radical. We can set the angle here, and of course it would be better to blur at the sort of same angle as the vehicle's traveling, something like that. So we match it over there and we say okay. But now we cannot recognize the people, so by using the Control and the plus key we can actually enlarge our image. We're now going to select our eraser. Alright, see our eraser there? Let's take together the background eraser and magic eraser tool. We want our eraser tool, and the eraser tool is basically a brush. We can have a soft one, a hard one, lots of presets. In this case we want a soft brush, and we can look at the size. Okay, hardness, we can adjust it up a little bit. That would obviously be 100%, so somewhere down the middle, there we go. To enlarge the brush we use our bracket keys. Our right bracket will make it larger and our left bracket smaller. Notice if I press cap locks, it changes to a little arrow. So if you have this little crosshair, just switch off your cap locks and there you go. Now we're going to brush over their faces and their bodies, and you see what happens. Suddenly they are not blurred anymore, because now we're taking the blur away from them. In actual fact what we're doing is we are erasing. I'm just going to do this pretty quickly, not very accurately. You can go as accurately as you like, but effectively what you're doing is you're actually erasing through the blur layer, and I'll show you that. If I switch this off, you'll see what we've done. We've erased through here, so we can actually clean up quite nicely there. By switching it on again, you can see you recognize the people, and you've got this motion blur in the background. And that is all there is to creating the motion blur. Thank you.